Hello everyone, today let's solve the problem 57, insert interval, right? So what the question states here, we are given a sorted list of non-overlapping intervals. See here, they have strictly mentioned that we have given a sorted list of non-overlapping intervals, right? And a new interval, and we have been given new interval as well. So this is non-overlapping interval, they have strictly mentioned. So intervals consist of the non-overlapping intervals that is sorted, and new interval also we have been given, right? So we have to insert the new interval into the list, merging any overlapping intervals. After inserting this interval, if any merging this one, or if any overlapping intervals exist, then we have to merge so that the final list is sorted and non-overlapping. So we have to return the resulting list of intervals. So that's what we need to do here, right? So let's come to the example part here. They have given us wonderful examples just for the sake of understanding. Just give me a second here. Yep, so we have 1 3 and 6 9. New interval we have been given 2 comma 5, right? So here see here, this 2 basically comes between 1 and 3, right? So this is overlapping, right? 1 comma 3 and 2 comma 5 are overlapping, right? So this is fine. So what we need to do now, we have to merge this one. So first what we'll do, we will compare. Suppose this one is 1 comma 3 is x1 comma y1 and 2 comma 5 is x2 comma y2. So we will check this one among x1 and x2, and we will check y1 and y2, right? So y1 and y2. So among x1 and x2 we will consider this one, what do we call, the value with the this one, the value with the less value, basically, right? The number with the less value, right? So this one among x1 and x2, which is having this one, which is the least, basically, which is having the less value, 1 and 2, 1 is less, so we'll be considering 1. And among 3 and 5, which is the greater, which is having the greater value, or which value is greater, basically, in simple terms, 3 and 5 is greater, right? 5 is greater, so we will be considering 5. So this is how we merge, basically, right? So this is fine, we got 1 comma 5 here. So next we have 6 comma 9, and that is non-overlapping, right? So that is non-overlapping, that we will write the same value, right? So this one will be 1 comma 5 and 6 comma 9. So that is what that is how we got the output here, right? So same goes with this one as well. See, we have got 1 comma 2, 3 comma 5, 6 comma 7, 8 comma 10 and 12 comma 16, and the new interval is nothing but 4 comma 8. Here 1 comma 2 remains same, this is non-overlapping, right? And 4 comma 8, see, 4 is between 3 and 5, so this is overlapping, and 8 is between this one, what do we call, and 4, this one, it is overlapping with the this one 6 comma 7 as well, because the value 4 is less than the this one 6 comma 7. This one also we have to consider, right? Also 8 comma 10 also we have to consider, because this one, so this 8 is equivalent to the 8, right? So here this one 4 comma 8, so this also overlaps, basically, right? So now what we need to do, 4 comma 8, we will be checking the same thing, x1 and x2. So this one becomes y1 and y2, y1 and y2, y1 and y2, sorry, x1 and yeah, this is x1 and x2, y1, y2. This is fine, man. Yeah, first we will check whether 4 is less than 3. Yes, 4 is less than 3. 4 is 4 is less than 3. No, 3 is less than 4. So we will consider 3 over here. So next we will check whether this one 6 is less than 4. No, 6 is greater than 4. 8 is less than this one 4. No, 8 is greater than 4. Among these three, this one 8, 6 and 3, 3 is the minimum, and we will check whether 3 is less than 4. Yes, 3 is less than 4. So we will consider only 3. Among 3, 6 and 8, which is the least value, 3 is the least value we have, and we will check that 3 whether it is less than the value of 4. Yes, 3 is less than 4, we will go with the 3. Now we have 8 comma 5, right? 8 and 5, we will check which one is greater. 8 is greater. Again, first what we will do, we will check the greater of this one, 5, 7 and 10. So which one is greater, basically, among the 5, 7 and 10? 10 is greater. So we will check whether 10 is greater than the this one 8, basically 10 is greater than 8. So what we will do, we will display 10 here. So we have merged this one overlapping intervals and we got the 3 comma 10 here. So again the last one, this one 12 comma 16 is non-overlapping, so we will display the same value, or we will keep the same value here. So the output that we got here is 1 comma 2, 3 comma 10 and 12 comma 16. So that's what they have mentioned here, right? So this is it for the basically example part or the input output part. They have given us wonderful examples just for the sake of understanding, right? So this is fine, I believe. Now let's do one thing. We are done with the this one, what do we call, question part and the input output part. Let's quickly discuss the this one approach part, right? So just give me a second here. The first step here would be the approach. So we will be making use of the example 1, right? So the first example will be going with this one, the same one, right? So we have 1 3 6 9 and 2. First what we will do, we will scan from left, right? The first interval would be 1 comma 3, which overlaps with 2. New interval we have 2 comma 5, which overlaps with 2 comma 5 because 3 is greater than or equal to 2, right? So 3 is greater than or equal to 2 here. So we will merge into min of 1 comma 2 and 3 comma 5, that is equivalent to 1 comma 5, right? So this one I have said this one already. This is fine. Next what we will do, we will move to the next interval 6 comma 9. Its start is 6, which is greater than the merged and 5. So no overlap here, right? So we will keep as it is 6 comma 9, right? So this is fine. Result is nothing but which is equivalent to the intervals before merged and the remaining, right? So in this case it is merged and remaining consists of 1 comma 5 and 6 comma 9, this one. So output that we got here is 1 comma 5 and 6 comma 9, which is equivalent to the output that they have given for the example 1 but on the question, right? So our approach works absolutely correct in this case, right? So now as we are completely familiar with the approach, let's do one thing. Let's move on with the complexities part. One more thing here. So consider example 2 and do the same thing, man. You'll get to know, right? So this is fine. Now as we are completely familiar with the this one, what do we call complexities part? No, yep, this one, what do we call, not the complexities part, approach part. So let's move on with the complexities part. So what would be the time complexity here? The time complexity would be big of n. So why it is big of n? Because we'll be scanning the input intervals at most once, right? So overall time complexity would lead to big of n. So what would be the space complexity here? The space complexity would lead to big of n as well, because we will be allocating at most n plus 1 intervals for the result. So this will be trimmed to big of n basically. So overall space complexity would lead to big of n as well. So the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we'll be writing in the future would be big of n and big of n respectively, right? So as we are completely familiar with the approach and the complexities, we are good to write the code. Let's start writing the code. Initially, let's go with the number of existing intervals. Let's get the length once in simple terms, right? So I'll be making use of intervals dot length everywhere. So I'll just assign this one to the variable n. This is fine. The next step would be we have to go with the result array that is sized at most n plus 1. We have discussed this one. So I'll just go with int result array. I'll just go with answer or ans here. So let me go with the size n plus 1 and 2. So this is fine, man. Now let's do one thing. So let's go with the index for writing into the answer. So let me initialize index to 0. Also I scans the input intervals, right? So this one I'll initialize this one to the 0. This is also fine, right? So now let's go with the current new interval bounds that will insert or merge, right? So this one will be int s equals, so this one will be let me go with the new interval, right? So this one, yeah, I'll just write this one directly. So this one will be new interval of 0 and this is the parameter new interval, right? So this one will be again, I'll just copy this one, man, don't want to type. So this is fine, new interval of 1, right? So this is fine. Now let's do one thing. Let's add all the intervals that end before the new interval starts so that no overlap exists, right? So I'll just go with while I less than n and intervals, so basically of I and 1 here. So if it is less than s, so answer of index, so this one 0, so this one will be intervals I and 0. Let me do the same thing for this one, copy start and copy end, right? So let me go with the copy end now. So this one will be index, so this one will be I 1. So now let's do one thing. We have to increment the index as well as the I, right? So this one index I, this is fine, man. Let me get out of this one. Let me come out of this one, sorry. Yep, let's do one thing now. According to the approach, after adding all the intervals that end before the new interval starting, so we have to merge all the intervals that overlap with the new interval as well. We saw this one within the approach, or while I explained, right, the example. So now let's do one thing. How can I articulate that one in the form of code? While I less than n and intervals I this one 0 is less than or equal to e, then if intervals of I, so this one 0, if it is less than s, equals intervals of I 0, this is fine. If intervals of I 1, this one is greater than e, this one would be e equals intervals of I 1. So this is fine, man. Yep. Now let's do one thing. Let's increment the I. This is fine. Let me come out of this one entirely. So now we have to insert the merged new interval. So either it can be original new or the merged one, right? So this one I can just write it in this way. This one is answer of index and 0. So this one we have to assign this one to the s. Let me copy the same thing. Let me paste it over here. So this one answer of index, this one remains same, and this one will be 1 itself. So let me assign this one to the e. This is fine. Finally, let's increment the index. So this is fine. Now let's do one thing. We have to add the remaining intervals, meaning they start after merged interval, and after merging the intervals there might exist the non-overlapping interval as well, right? So see here, in this case we have merged 1,3 and 2,5. After that one 6,9 is left, right? So we have to add that interval as well. So that one we have to implement or articulate in the form of code. So let me do one thing. I'll just go with while I less than n. So this one within the while loop, answer index, so this one 0, one will be intervals of I 0, and also may copy the same thing here, and for this one we have to go with the copy end as well, right? Instead of this one 0, it will be 1. So this one, instead of I 0, it will be I 1, right? So this is fine, man. Again the same thing, we have to increment the index as well as we have to increment the I. So we are left with only one step, that is, sorry, 1 second, just give me a second, man. That is, we have to return the answer that is trimmed to the actual size. So I'll just make use of copy of here, the operation that is that the arrays provide basically. I'll just make use of the copy of here. So I'll just pass here answer and the index, because we are trimming to the actual size, right? So this is fine, man. So we are done with the this one, what do you call, coding part. So let me format the code once and let me hit the run button. I hope this works, man. Let's see. Missing return statement. What did I give them? Oh yeah, I didn't mention return at all here. Yeah, now the sample test cases are getting passed. So let me hit the submit button quickly. I hope this works for all the test cases, man. Yep, this works correctly for all the test cases, right? I hope the solution part is completely clear along with the approach and the complexities. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.